Ted Adams never was much for playing basketball, but when it comes to pumping gas, there's no one any better.
Thank you. Come back. Now this is the easy part.
In case you haven't noticed, Ted Adams is a bit on the short side. 4 feet tall to be exact, and 63 pounds soaking wet. And not much in size for a 54-year-old man, but big in heart in every way.
Ever bother you being short? Little, small?
No, not really. You know, things only bother us if we want them to. If we'll learn to cope with it, nothing to it.
Ted Adams operates Craig's Texaco in Athens, and with the assistance of the handy water bucket, can do almost anything.
Any words of wisdom you got to people that are short?
Well, I don't know, Jamie. Just do the best you can to enjoy life and be satisfied with what God gave you, I guess. Because one thing about it, you can't change it. And you have to be jolly. Your legs are too short to run and you're too little to fight, so you better make friends.
There's only one thing Ted's friends know of that Ted can't do himself.
He can't do is crank his outboard motor. He has to pull it with a rope, and he can't do that. He ain't heavy enough. It picks his little feet up off the floor.
If Ted Adams has any shortcomings, no one's ever heard of them because Ted Adams is a big man in a little body. And this water can is a lifesaver. In Athens, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. What do you think of this, Ted?
Gotta keep it, I guess.
74-year-old James Lewis could be one of the most recognized folks in Huntsville, and you probably don't even know him. Now, he's not a singer or dancer or even a politician. He's a greeter of sorts, how do you do, man?
You staying warm? Oh, sure. Staying warm is good enough to be on the inside.
For about the past 5 years, every day but Sunday, Lewis has been found perched on the steps of the old downtown post office. It's a place Lewis finds quite suitable to meet and greet just about everyone. For 3 or 4 hours a day, Lewis sits and talks and then sits some more.
No, I don't know everybody come up here. I know a lot of them come up here, but I don't know everybody.
Why are you out here every day?
Ain't got nothing else to do.
Ain't got nothing else to do.
No, ain't trying to get nothing else to do.
They just hang around the post office. Used to hang around the picture show years ago. And here on Church Street.
You know a lot of people?
Oh, yeah, he know a lot of people. He know a lot of people. Sure do.
You see him here every day?
Yeah, he's here just about every day. Rain or shine, sleet or snow. He's real faithful.
When Lewis is not overseeing the steps of the post office, he's working at Royal Funeral Home. Quite a contrast from greeting people.
If you don't speak to James Lewis when he's sitting here, you won't hurt his feelings, but you might hurt yours. In Huntsville, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Is that right?
Makes me feel real good. It does make you feel good. You know, makes you feel real good to fix up. I feel good anyway.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
How many times a day will you put makeup on?
Oh, several times. Several times.
Mildred Draper is a bit different. She hopes to one day be an actress or a famous gospel singer. But that's not what makes her different. What makes her different is what she does now. Some folks would call her a bag lady.
Yeah, they might think I'm crazy. I don't care if they do. I couldn't care less if they think I'm crazy. As long as I know I'm not crazy.
You're having a good time.
Yeah, I have a good time.
Miss Draper can be found most any day pushing her cart up and down the downtown streets of Huntsville. In her cart, instead of cans and trash, Miss Draper carries several changes of clothes and plenty of makeup. She likes to look good.
Well, I've been told I look like Dolly Parton and Marilyn Monroe. I used to wear a blonde wig like that Dolly Parton. They said I looked just like her.
Some folks have actually told me Miss Draper does excel at playing the piano. However, her singing, well, you judge for yourself.
That same a wretch like like me. I once lost, oh, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I see.
To some folks, Mildred Draper might be a bit crazy. But Mildred, well, she's just trying to reach her goal of becoming a famous singer or actress. Right, Mildred?
Right. Come on. Gospel singer, really.
Gospel singer. Mildred says she's pretty good.
They tell me I'm fantastic. Well, I play piano and organ, play by ear, you know what I'm saying.
In Huntsville, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Willie Erskine Allison is a railroad man. Always has been, always will be. He retired from L&N Railroad 15 years ago, but he never retired from loving trains. W.E. Allison is the engineer, owner, and most times the only passenger of the Allison Railroad in Swearingen. Allison built his homemade train, which is a 1/3 scale version of the real thing, more than a decade ago. Powered by a 283 Chevrolet engine, Allison's train makes almost a daily run on the 500 feet of track that extends only halfway around his property. Going backwards is a big part of the Allison Railroad. Forward or backwards, it doesn't matter to W.E. Allison, just as long as it's moving.
I done my part of it. I was born a railroad fellow, I reckon. I always wanted a railroad, and that's what I got in, and I don't begrudge when I quit. Because railroad ain't what it was when I was working. Not by a whole lot.
Willie Allison never thought he'd work for the railroad again after he retired, much less on his own. It's Swearingen, the Allison Railroad. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Cutting you kind of close, aren't you, Willie?
Mark Christensen, Lorenzo McCrary, and John Sledge pick up garbage for a living. It's not an easy job, but the three found a way to make it entertaining. Just ask their boss, Earl Troglin.
They do a good job, Jay. I swear they do. and I get tickled every time they do that. I get tickled.
Calling themselves the Madison County Oreos, the trio has created a garbage man rap.
When you get up in the morning, put your britches on. And when it's cold outside, you put your long johns on. And then you get in your car and you head to the store. You get a cup of coffee, then you're ready to roar. And then you get to the shop and you check in with the man. Hey, brother, sanitation man.
Lorenzo and I were out slinging trash. We just decided to have a good time, started putting words together and putting the bebop rap together, and it just came true.
Can you imagine people, you know, that do their type of work and everything, and you've done it, to have that type of enthusiasm? And that's what we need, really, is more of that. I think it's great.
Having a chatting stories almost over. And then you're back in the shop and wash your rig, making nice and shiny, man, can you dig? Well, you did your job right and you did your job swell, you can go home chill, happy and well.
Madison County, when we got some strange garbage men, they're already working on another song called Down at the Old Landfill. It's coming up after this one hits #1. In Huntsville, the Madison County Garbage Department, they were country rover and former garbage man, Jamie Cooper. Hit it.
Orrin Sublett lost an old friend this week, a friend that had been part of his family since the 1920s, a friend that represented what Madison County was all about. Destruction began this week on the old Sublett Gin in Big Cove. Originally built in the early 1900s and operated by steam, the gin was converted to electricity in 1938 and closed permanently by Orrin Sublett 16 years ago due to the lack of what was once Madison County's chief crop, cotton.
And like we used to say, if you went to the bank, they didn't ask you how much corn, how much beans, or how many head of cattle you had. They always wanted to know how many acres of cotton you had. So it was the main thing. Huntsville was just a little cotton town. I can remember when cotton was lined up way up that ditch there and then way down this ditch also. Be a lot of bales of cotton. But, like I say, you have some fond memories of those things, but you know, you can't stop progress. It's got to go on.
Sublet Gin is being torn down to make way for a major residential development by John Hayes and Associates of Huntsville. Cotton was once king here, but those days are gone forever. And soon, this old gin will only be a memory of what once was. In Big Cove, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Okay. For the Kane family of Appleton, Tennessee, having an ordinary pet is out of the question.
Herman! Hey, Herman! Come on, boy! Come here, Herman! Come on, boy!
It's a kipper! Woo! Herman! Come here, boy!
Herman, the family pet, is a 1,600-pound, 4-year-old Brahma bull. Mean-looking at first sight, but lovable once you really get to know him.
Yeah, he does. He loves it.
He likes Vegas.
This is really how it all started. We were really scared of him when we got him. He was just a little over a year old.
Yeah, then one time.
A member of the Kane family for the past 3 years, Herman loves to be petted. He loves it so much he makes himself comfortable. He just simply lays down anywhere he wants to.
He's such a baby. He's such a baby. Hey, won't you pet him, Johnny? There it goes. Well, he's such a baby. There was a time we would read to him. When we was petting him, we'd read to him. Read to him. Talk to him. Children's storybooks.
You read?
We read to him, just like he's one of us.
Okay. And what else?
And well, he just got to where he liked it, and then if he on a warm day, he's real mellow. He'll just come up and he'll lay down, and you can't get him up for nothing. He's just real mellow.
Do you still read to him?
No,
I said he's not like a playboy.
Yeah, no. Well, he is a playboy, but we don't read that to him.
Herman doesn't lay down out here all the time. You can bet on it. When it's time for him to go to work, he's up and ready. In Appleton, Tennessee, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. What about it, Herman?
153. There's 253. 153 is on here. I say 153 is in
Saturday was a big day for the folks of Mount Hope, and the football field was the site of all the excitement.
Where's 78 going to be now? Right here. Where's 28 now?
No, the Mount Hope Yellow Jackets didn't go to the state playoff. Far from it. But the football field was definitely the place to be. Milkshake the Dairy Cow was the center of attention for a unique sort of fundraiser.
Calling me.
Cow dump. Just plain old cow dump.
What is a cow dump? Hey, Bob. How are you? What's your number?
Come on, Milkshake.
The rules of the game were simple. A portion of the football field was divided into $5 squares. And wherever Milkshake decided to relieve herself, and that's the best way I can describe it, well, if it was on your $5 square, you won the $150 prize money. It really didn't take long for Milkshake to come through.
Dump, cow, dump! Dump, cow, dump! Dump, cow, dump!
It's in the middle of one. 10 and 4.
What is it, Judge?
10 and 4.
What's the rules on this, Judge?
Whoever's got this square right here wins $150.
Even though the Mount Hope Yellow Jackets finished with a 1-9 season, they're already looking forward to greener pastures next year, especially right here. Hit it.
Dump, cow, dump! Dump,
Move over for Milkshake. She knows how to score a real touchdown. In Mount Hope, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Come on, this is my square. Ever heard of places like Suck Egg, Taint Much, and Lick Skillet? Well, you probably have. You've just never been there before. Well, all this week, I'm going to take you to 5 different small towns and communities across the Tennessee Valley. I thought you might just want to visit them. Have you ever heard of Iron Man? Located just outside of Hartselle in Morgan County is a small community named after a man who's never been anywhere.
the Iron Man of the Iron Man community. Stationed here in the early 1900s, the Iron Man was originally a form of advertising for Veg-Cal, a liver medicine of the time. The liver medicine has long since disappeared, but for Iron Man residents like Truman Bridges, the cast iron statue is what this community is all about.
It's just been a meeting place for a lot of people over the years, and been kind of, when you say you live close to the Iron Man, it's no problem for anyone to find where you're located.
So everybody knows about the Iron Man.
Right.
John T. Wallace, another lifelong resident of Iron Man, recalls when the 6-foot two-faced statue was placed in this small community. The Iron Man Wallace has seen practically every day. The Veg-Cal liver medicine he's never seen.
You know what kind of medicine it was?
Veg-Cal or something. Veg-Cal or something like that.
Did you ever take any of it?
Nope.
Know anybody that did?
Nope.
Know if it's any good?
Nope.
Know what color it was?
Nope.
Know what it sold for?
Don't have no idea.
Did anybody around here buy any of it?
Never heard of it, except on that Iron Man.
You didn't know a whole lot about that medicine, did you?
Not anything.
It appears that Veg-Cal liver medicine wasn't very popular, at least in the community of Iron Man. Tomorrow night, a visit to Scant City.
And this is what they call a scant pint. That's what they used to get around Scant City, you know, way back yonder.
I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper, and I'll see you tomorrow night in Scant City.
Bad bootleggers, and they'd have fights and dance halls, and they'd come out here and fight, and then for 2 or 3 hours, and then they'd get up and rest and go right back at it.
75-year-old Buster Kelly just described what the Marshall County community of Scant City was once like. Dewey Claiborne says times have changed.
Well, it's almost like going to church now compared to the olden days.
Scant City, located between Gunnersville and Arab on Highway 69, was named years ago after a scan of whiskey, which was a little less than a pint in the bootlegging days of many years ago.
Well, this is a half a pint, and this is what they call a scant pint. That's what they used to get around Scant City, you know, way back yonder. Well, here's a full pint.
Scant City may be just a spot in the road these days with a rough history behind it. But with Buster Kelly around, he keeps things sort of lively, with or without a scant.
Went up on the mountain to get a load of cane to make a barrel of lasses to sweeten Liza Jane. Jesus, lover of my soul, lead me to the sorghum bowl. With a biscuit in my hand, sop my way to the promised land. Now what else? Let's see.
Scant City is nothing like it used to be, and it's almost impossible today to even find a scant pint around here. About all you can find is Buster Kelly. Hit it.
At the cross, where the train scared my horse.
Though you might need a couple scants to listen to
My
it.
buggy rolled away.
Keep going. It's Scant City. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
It's a rolling.
Delina's just a little sleepy, laid-back town, friendly town is the best word for it.
I mean, I lived here all my life. It used to be 2 stores operating, now just down to the one, and it's slow.
This used to be a booming town years ago.
What happened to it?
It's just like all other country places, just sort of faded out. Everybody went to the cities.
These days, the most activity in the small town of Delina, Tennessee, which is about 15 miles from Fayetteville, is delivered by deer hunters who stop by the checking station at Delina's only store.
Yeah, it had another one here. It broke off. There was definitely another one there.
Some 60 years ago, Delina was a town with 3 stores, a blacksmith shop, grist mill, and high school. Delina, especially during the holiday season, has a bit more traffic passing through than usual. Not much, but a bit. Delina's only business, besides a couple of dairies, is Bigham Hams, a place where you can find real old-fashioned salt-cured hams.
It's got a good country ham taste and makes a good red gravy, so that's what they want.
How do people find you out here? Or is that a disadvantage or what?
Well, they always wind up finding us. Sometimes it takes them right from a while back out here in the sticks, but they always get here.
The days when Delina was a bustling little town with a bright future have long since passed. Today, Delina, Tennessee is as peaceful and quiet as any town could ever hope to be. In Delina, Tennessee, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Hear the blessed Savior calling me, O bread. All you heavy laden, come to me and rest. Come no longer carry your load of care. Bring me every burden, bring me every care. Come to me, come to me.
Folks have been gathering at the Beach Grove Methodist Church in Francisco for at least the past 112 years. These days, however, the congregation is smaller, yet still reminiscent of years gone by.
Years back when there was a huge community, I mean farmers mostly, and someone died in the community, I had a great uncle named Jimmy Green. He came up here and he tolled the bell, usually for how many times a person was old. And everybody, whatever they're doing, they just dropped everything and came to dig a grave. They was plowing, they quit, whatever they're doing, they came to dig a grave.
Francisco, located deep in Paint Rock Valley, is a community of only some 50 or 60 residents. A couple of churches and a graveyard that dates back to the Indian days, plus an abandoned store that once served as the post office. Life around Francisco is kind of quiet. The nearest big town is either Huntland, Tennessee, or Princeton, Alabama.
If you were ever looking for a place that was peaceful and quiet and away from it all, then Francisco could be just the place you're looking for, because this is basically it. In Francisco, Alabama, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Let me introduce you to the town of New Hope, a town I know all too well. I should. I grew up there. New Hope has somehow managed to maintain its simplicity. It's virtually the same little town it was 30 years ago when I was just a kid. Here are a few of the folks who call this town of New Hope home. This is Charlie Holcomb, New Hope's #1 junk dealer, and proud of it.
It's just junk. But more people fool, it's more money, more millionaires fooling with junk than it is fooling with money.
You want to...
Well, I ain't got no money, but I got a lot of junk.
Well, Tim Payton's the town's best-known beer drinker. Just ask him.
Well, that's about all he is to do down here now, drink beer. Ain't nothing else. They ain't even got no pool. All used to have pool all night, go there and shoot pool.
Well, you don't drink beer, do you?
Yeah. Sure do.
But not much.
Well, not no whole lot. Not more than yet. Yeah, I like it beer now.
John Howard is one of the few downtown merchants still in business.
So you'd say, what about New Hope? Pretty good town?
It's a real good town. A lot of nice folks.
And Bobby Cloud, he's a lifelong New Hope resident who happens to be a good friend of John Howard's.
Well, it's a small town. If everybody wants to pick it up, make it clean.
So it's kind of dumpy?
Well, it could be a little bit better.
And then there's Hucklebuck Hornbuckle, New Hope's only barber and car dealer.
So what happens in New Hope? What happens in New Hope?
Well, besides the dairy up here on Main Street, about the only other place to hang out is Cooper's Small Engine, a place with a name and a look that's somewhat familiar.
There never has been a whole lot to New Hope, and there may never be. But for those who live here, it's a fine a place as any. And if you ever hear in New Hope, stop by Cooper Small Engine. Tell them I sent you. It's right over there. In New Hope, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
84-year-old Tillman Thomas is a lover of the outdoors. And for the past 7 years or so, Thomas, from his lakeside home, has made a lot of friends.
Woo! Ain't that pretty? You what? I said, ain't that pretty? Hey, man. Hey, man.
Every morning and afternoon, Till Thomas is surrounded by all the friends he's made.
I feel like I'm a friend to them, and I love them, every one. And I just enjoy feeding them, being good to them. I don't know if anybody's got any more than I have up and down the lake. A lot of people feed them, but I don't believe they got as many ducks as I have.
Well, you like ducks?
Yeah, I like ducks, I like geese, I like people.
For all the wild ducks and geese that make this portion of Guntersville Lake home, Till Thomas is a good friend.
It's almost quiet here now at Street Bluffs Trailer Court. But come tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock, Till Thomas and his friends will be quacking again. In Guntersville, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
She's on. Ain't Teal great? Happy birthday. Ain't Teal great?
Who was it made it?
They made it Food World. Food World, a grocery store. Food World.
They didn't have food worlds when Tila Gray was born. They didn't have cars either, nor electricity, or much of anything else. Tila Gray was born in Lauderdale County in 1880. Monday, she celebrated her 107th birthday at the Lauderdale Christian Nursing Home.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, girl.
That's all I've done all of my life.
Work hard?
Is work.
Has life changed much over the last 100 years?
I've been milking cows ever since I was 10 years old.
Milking cows?
Tila Gray had 10 kids. 6 are still living and helped their mother celebrate her birthday.
I never did get a whooping because I always outrun her.
Tila Gray voted for the first time, of course, when she was much younger, at 100. And even today, she doesn't mind telling you how.
I'm a Democrat.
You're a Democrat?
Yeah.
And proud of it, right?
Yes, I am.
Tila Gray is a Democrat all the way and proud of it.
What are you?
What am I? I'm whatever you are right now. It'd kill it. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Happy birthday, but you're not supposed to be asking me questions. I'm supposed to be asking you questions.
The Pastime Cafe in Fayetteville, Tennessee is truly a one-of-a-kind restaurant of sorts. They open at 5 and close around 9. But what makes this place a bit unusual is what happens inside. Every Thursday morning for the past 20 years or so, folks from all around have been gathering in the back of the cafe for what they call a good old-fashioned hoedown.
I usually get out there.
What happened to you?
My feet got numb. I got old.
There's one thing about a visit to the Pastime Cafe. You will definitely be entertained. And I'd like to introduce you to the mayor of Hot Rock and the mayor of Delrose. Is that right? Pastime Cafe in Fayetteville. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Do I get a key to the city?
Yeah. You come down, we give you more than a key.
You'll give me more than a key?
Yeah, we give you more than a key.
I bet you will.
If you need a cab in the town of Fayetteville, chances are GC Lightning Lindsay will be your driver.
Okay, thank you. Lightning, I need a cab, 604 Green Street.
Lightning Lindsay has been driving a cab in Fayetteville, Tennessee for the past 37 years. Lightning took his first passenger for a ride December 10th, 1950 in a 1949 Ford. Today, he drives a 77 Chrysler, and that's about the only difference Lightning says he's noticed through the years.
What was it like when you drove that 49 Ford?
Well, it didn't have that power steering, brakes on it. Put them out now, automatic. I had a straight shift then, you know, back then.
So it'd wear you out.
The 61-year-old Lightning got his name because he moves and drives at one speed, more like a snail's pace.
They say you don't ever get in a hurry.
I would if I had to, you know. Yeah. Okay.
To the folks of Lincoln County, Lightning Lindsay is somewhat of a legend, and he's taken just about everyone for a ride.
You ever ridden in a cab with him?
Yeah.
What kind of driver is he?
Damn good driver.
He's a what?
A damn good driver.
He is?
Hell yeah.
What kind of driver is he?
Oh, he's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Lightning Lindsay's been around the block more than a few times, and he's always ready to take you for a ride, just as long as you're not in no real big hurry. Is that about right?
Right.
In Fayetteville with Lightning Lindsay, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
You better give that to Bill. You better give that to Bill. You better give that to Bill. You better.
Bill Bush and his dog Bo are a little more than just man and pet. Bill and Bo are best friends and really know how to communicate.
If you were a carpenter had to frame a house, what'd be the last part you'd put up? Look, you don't know nothing about carpentry. What's 6 minus 4? If you had 6 boards and take away 4 boards, how many boards would you have left? How many? What's 6 minus 3? What's 6
Bush has
minus
been
5?
taking his 6-year-old collie on several visits to local schools the past year. Butch not only lets the kids see how smart Bo is, but they also get to see what kind of taste for clothes he has.
How smart of a dog is he?
I don't think he's too smart. He's very obedient, and he wants to get the right answers, and he wants to do the right thing. That's what I like about him.
Well, what do you think of this dog? I mean, how would you describe him?
He's just the best. He's just the very level best. He's the best dog, and he's the best friend.
You like to change clothes a lot?
He likes to play. He likes to sleep. Those are the 2 things he really loves to do.
Bo is probably the best-dressed dog in Huntsville. His wardrobe consists of everything from a clown outfit to overalls, even a Santa suit. You name it, Bo's probably tried it on.
If you're still looking for that perfect gift for that pet of yours this Christmas, why not ask Bo? As you can tell, he knows what's in. In Huntsville, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Bo, I don't blame you. I'd get dog tired changing clothes, too.
If Jim Gray and Larry Thompson get their New Year's wish, They'll be in every chimney in Huntsville. Gray and Thompson are the owners of Log Busters, and they cut, split, and deliver wood for a living. Lots of it. This machine, the only one like it in North Alabama, is a wood processor. It's capable of cutting and splitting a cord and a half of oak or hickory in about 45 minutes. That's a good day's work for most of us.
Saves a lot of work. It's a lot easier to run it through this machine than it is to take a mallet and try to bust it up yourself. They can come out here and save a little money if they won't come load it themselves. They can probably save about $30, $35 a load, or we will deliver it.
You can have the wood delivered or pick it up yourself. Either way, folks like David Sharp claim you can't beat it.
So why do you come here and get it when you can go out and cut it?
It's a whole lot cheaper coming down here and getting and going cutting.
You cut a lot of wood?
Well, yeah, during wintertime.
Located just over the river bridge in Lacey Springs, Log Busters has a wide selection to choose from at about $35 a truckload or $10 a trunkload.
Not only can you save a lot of time and not have to worry about keeping warm or getting all your wood here at Log Busters, just think of the time and backache you save by letting the machine do all the work for you. Times have changed for the better. At Log Busters in Lacey Springs, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Very unusual, 1 in 10,000.
Well, I was proud of them. They're a lot of trouble, but...
You weren't expecting this, were you?
No, I wasn't expecting it. I just...
No one really expected it or even remotely considered it. But yes, it did happen. Speedy and Oline Putnam of Grant are now the proud owners of triplet calves.
Just went over and checked her, and there was 3 calves there with her. But I wasn't expecting to be 3 calves, even 2, to be truthful about it.
Born about 2 weeks ago on the Putnam farm in Grant, the triplets, 1 bull and 2 heifers, are in excellent condition. According to animal doctor Charles Young, triplets, especially in beef cattle, are quite unusual.
Well, I've never seen triplets in cattle, but it's very unusual. Statistically speaking, 1 in 10,000.
The Putnams have a herd of some 47 cattle. This cow, they call her number 1, was the first one they got several years ago. And from the looks of it, probably the best one.
That looks like a...
If Oline and Speedy Putnam's cows keep having triplets, well then you know it won't be long before they have a pretty good sized herd. Come here, girl. On Grant Mountain with triplet calves, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
This building on 8th Avenue in Huntsville is home to Quick Sign Service, but it also doubles as a museum of sorts for one Dick Sasnet.
This all looks like junk over here, but it isn't really.
It's part of your life, isn't it?
Junk? No.
This stuff.
I believe.
Sasnet and his wife Marge own and operate Quick Signs. But besides being an artist, Sasnet is much more. To start with, he's a collector, with things like a 6-pack of Harley-Davidson beer, a blueback speller, and a few antique guitars in his collection. And though he claims to be in his 80s, he's a very talented singer.
Wouldn't some people look at you and say, maybe you're a little strange looking or acting?
I've been told that. Yes, I think so.
You don't look as old as you are. You got long hair.
I've been accused of everything from a genius to an imbecile. I don't think I belong in either category. I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Nighttime would find me in Rosie's cantina.
I guess the best way to describe Dick Sass Ned is to say that he's quite an interesting character. Here's some more proof.
One night a wild young cowboy came in.
Rovers Country Rover, Jamie Cooper.
Dashing and daring the drink he was sharing with Winky Felina, the girl that I love. And his name
Barnes Barbershop and Styling Salon in Gunnersville offers their customers something besides a haircut, something that they just can't get anywhere else in Marshall County. A shoe shine.
That shoe will shine. Yeah, I don't have to pay extra.
Jim Poe is the only shoe shine man in the county. Poe has been shining shoes as a full-time job since 1942.
Well, it really helps. A lot of people comes in and gets shoe shines, and some of them decide to get a haircut. And so we usually have a lot of people around talking, shooting the bull, some loafing, and everybody knows Jim in Marshall County.
48 years of shoe shining in several barbershops, all located within a block or two in downtown Gunnersville near Hammers. Longtime customers like Bill Harris have become old friends.
Stepping high, that's right. Yeah, old Jimmy can make them shine, too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Semi-retired now, and that's 2 or 3 days a week only. The 67-year-old Poe says a shine used to be a dime. Now it's $1, and Reeboks and others have given him a well-deserved rest.
I get the rest when I got tennis shoes on. They're comfortable. I got them myself at home.
For right now, Jim Poe is the only shoe shine man in Marshall County. And when he decides to call it quits, a part of Gunnersville that's always shined will go with him. In Gunnersville at Barnes Barbershop, I'm your Country Rover, Jamie Cooper.
100-year-old roller skate, a 1922 General Electric Ringer electric washer, and a 1930s ready-to-roll cigarette machine. These outdated items are just a few of the 1,500 or so things from years ago that are part of our history. Well, now they can all be found in the just-opened Cherokee County Museum in downtown Center. Bob Minix is just one of the museum supporters.
Well, we would like for our children and grandchildren to see how their forefathers lived, and this is the primary thing that we're aiming at, to give them an idea of what our grandparents used, our great-grandparents, how they lived, what they did, what they read, and just general how they lived.
The museum, located in the old Jordan's General Merchandise Store, known as the Big Store, was for many years the largest store of its kind in this part of the country. Center residents like Kenneth Stinson remember it well, as does Mary George Waite, whose family owned and operated the business.
Well, they had all kinds of wagons, you know, with stuff like that, and there's stuff for plows and just little everything that you wanted.
Oh, listen, I remember a lot about this place. I remember, first of all, the gasoline tanks were out in front, and they were these old-timey ones, you know, like they used to have. Then when I was a little bitty girl, I'd come up here to see my ma'am and my big daddy, who were Mr. and Miss Jordan, and I'd run up and down these steps, lickety-split, and on the second floor back then, they had caskets and everything. We would hide in the caskets. I wonder we didn't get shut up in the caskets.
The museum is open to the public Thursday through Sunday.
Jordan's Big Store here is not exactly what it once was, but now that it's a museum, it's a very good reminder of the way things used to be. At the Cherokee County Museum and Center, I'm your Country Rover, Jamie Cooper.
Louis Ware never has been much for watching television. Radio is what he loves and what he listens to constantly. The radios are on in Ware's home 24 hours a day.
Hard to believe rock and roll from a pinball and from a bowling pin in it.
Louis Ware is a radio collector and repairman. In his home and business, and they are both the same, Ware has more than 500 antique radios in his collection. They are all in working order, except for the few in storage. Ware, in addition to his radios, collects and repairs jukeboxes. This one happens to be a 1939 Mummy Case Rockola. Ware's fascination ranges from his vintage radios and jukeboxes to anything a bit different.
You have a bad day and you come in, you play him for a couple of minutes and it really makes your day a whole lot better.
What is it you like about radio?
It's warm. I can look in the back of one of these and it looks like a whole army camped out, all the tubes sitting there, all aglow. And try and pick up Radio Moscow on TV.
Do you like the sound of all this?
Oh, yeah.
The 45-year-old Ware, who can repair almost anything, is a modern-day fix-it man for some not-so-modern equipment.
It's a good thing Louis Ware likes it noisy, because once you paid him a visit, you'll find out that there's very little peace and quiet here, if any at all. Hard to find a good radio these days. NL, Jamie Country Rover, Jamie Cooper.
Nice to see you.
Yes, sir.
I can move you further back now if you'd like.
78-year-old Wilson White is known throughout Athens as a super salesman. White, who has owned and operated the Rebel Cafeteria for more than 30 years, used to be a man who wore many hats. In the 1940s, Wilson White owned and operated White's Auto Repair, a restaurant, a bus station, and appliance store in Wilson White, Pontiac, Chrysler, Plymouth, all under one roof, all at the same time.
I consider myself a super salesman.
In the 60s, White moved his car business to Huntsville, and even today it makes him feel good to see one of his cars still on the road.
And I bought the soda to get the wheels and the tires.
Theo Creel once worked for White as a car salesman. They sold this Chrysler New Yorker new in 1956. Creel now owns the car and claims White is indeed a super salesman.
I believe he'd sell an Eskimo refrigerator. You know, they don't need them much.
Wilson White's only business venture these days is the Rebel Cafeteria. But if you're looking for a car, he'll be glad to help you.
Greatest treasures that a man has is having happy, pleasant memories of people that you have done business with, that was happy with the product.
The key to being a super salesman, according to Wilson White, is believing in yourself and what you're selling. But above all, having a satisfied customer. And that's something he's very good at. In Athens, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
"34-year-old Eddie Salter knows how to attract a crowd by talking turkey. Salter, you see, is no ordinary turkey caller. He's a former world champion turkey caller and current three-time Alabama champion. Not bad for a fellow from Evergreen who's been cutting hair for a living the past 15 years. Salter and his many turkey callers were in Gunnersville this past weekend as part of the Kiwanis Club's annual outdoor show.
Well, you know, it's great being able to label yourself as a champion, but what's really important is being able to go out and call a turkey up and know that you can go out one-on-one and call a turkey up close enough to take his picture, or if you'd like to shoot, you know, chance to shoot the turkey.
If you're interested in calling turkeys, a Salter collar costs anywhere from $3 to $20.
Lady Salter is about as close as to being a real turkey as you can get. And nobody talks turkey better than he does. In Guntersville with the world champion turkey caller, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. I know some turkeys that...
You just don't find stores anymore like E.R. Roberts in downtown Hartselle. 65 years in the same location. Never any advertising, never a sale, not even a phone. Just an old-fashioned store that's still in business thanks to owners Eaton and Buford Roberts and longtime customers like Kyle Chenault.
I've been coming in here ever since back, I don't know, when I was a little boy. I used to come up here on a load of cotton and sit out here in front of this store and come in here to get me a drink, riding a mule wagon, you know, about.
Still buy stuff in here?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of stuff you get in here now?
Well, all my wearing stuff, I just rather get it here. It's a standard name. These old hee-haw breeches, Liberty, you know.
Is that all you wear?
Well, I wear them a lot, sure do.
That's about all he wears.
So this is a good place to go to.
E.R. Roberts.
Yeah.
That's all that reminds me of Hartselle now.
Yeah.
Specializing in felt hats and Liberty overalls, Eaton Roberts, who'll be 87 in March, has never seen a need for change, and still doesn't.
Now, how do you treat your customers?
Well, I try to treat them where they'll come back, and I don't know if that's any secret, but everybody knows me. 65 years in the same location. Well, you know, they'd know who I am.
I don't know of anything modern that we have in the store. Everything is tried and true. Really, they come here to buy things that they can't get anywhere else.
E.R. Roberts store is open 6 days a week, and yes, it is a step back in time.
E.R. Roberts store is unlike any other. Buford and Eaton Roberts are in business as a hobby, not necessarily to make money. And there's just not many stores that are like that. At Roberts store in Hartselle, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
70-year-old Earl Whitaker is a quiet sort of guy, except when it comes to relaxing at home. Whitaker has been making music since he was about 12 years old, growing up in New Hope. The fiddle, guitar, and mandolin are his specialty, but it's his mandolin that Whitaker praises the most. Earl Whitaker was 10 years old in 1927 when his older brother paid almost $80 for this already second-hand Martin mandolin. $80 then was a bunch of money. Well, 30 years ago, Whitaker's brother got his hand crushed and gave Earl the mandolin. Today, the Martin mandolin has been assessed at $10,000. And Whitaker says it's worth every dime when it comes to playing old-timey tunes like the Arkansas Traveler and Ragtime Annie.
There's some, you know, I don't like too well. Ragtime Annie is a good mandolin tune. Chicken Reel. Yeah, I'll play you a little bit of Chicken Reel.
All right, hit it. Earl Whitaker's prize mandolin ain't for sale for no amount of money. Besides, what's he going to play the Chicken Reel or the Arkansas Traveler or Ragtime Annie on? Hit it. In New Hope with Earl Whitaker and his prize mandolin. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Bob Golub is somewhat of a traveling salesman. While appearing at the Comedy Club last week, Golub hit the streets of Huntsville to peddle his wares.
You feel lucky today? Mm-hmm. You interested in Bob's Lucky Potatoes? Yes. I'll tell you what I'll do. Being that, you're a nice woman and I feel like you're going to be my first customer today, I'm going to give you a deal. I'll tell you what, I'm going to sell it for $1. And if it don't bring you luck, you can eat it. You can't do that with the pet rock or the rabbit foot, right?
Oh, no. Gullop is known across the country as Mr. Potato. 2.5 years ago in New York City, a broke, busted, and disgusted Bob Gullop had a 5-pound sack of potatoes to his name. That was it. So while watching the street people sell their stuff, Gullop took up peddling spuds. Of course, these were sprinkled with his grandmother's so-called lucky water.
Because I like you, I'm special. You're a special person. I come down here for Huntsville to run into you. I'm going to give you one for $1.
A potato?
No, what you're saying, a potato, it's Bob's Lucky Potatoes. Bob's Lucky Potatoes. There you go. There you go. And why don't you give it a shot, sir?
You ever feel stupid doing this?
Yeah, I've felt stupid when people haven't bought them. Like down here, I'm looking at it getting run out of town, man. I thought, people like, they look at me like I'm crazy and stuff. So, everything is irrelevant. What is luck? People bought the pet rock. People have rabbit foots. These are just a different thing of lucks. Hey, I give one of these to the Redskins last week. Doug Williams, the quarterback, and they won the game.
What's so special about Bob's Lucky Potato?
They got water sprinkled on them from my grandmother's well in Pennsylvania.
Bob Gullop is certainly no small potato when it comes to bothering folks. And as far as Bob Lucky Potatoes go, well, I don't know if they bring you good luck or not, but at least it's worth a try. Sell them.
Listen, folks, why don't you try Bob's Lucky Potatoes? What do you got to lose, folks? Give it a shot.
Jamie Cooper.
Bob's Lucky Potatoes.
47-year-old Herschel Wayne Bunk Hagee is a little different. Well, mainly because of the car he drives. Hagee's 70 model Pontiac Ventura is his pride and joy, and is definitely a sight for sore eyes.
How come you got a car like this, Bunk?
Well, I just want to be different than anybody else, I reckon. That's all I know.
Bunk Hagee admits all his life he's wanted to be out of the ordinary, and his car is sort of a way of expressing himself, though at times it can be embarrassing.
Embarrassing a lot of times. People looking at somebody.
What else you gonna do to it?
I'm gonna do it right smart more to it. I don't know right now till I get started on it. Add a little bit more on to it. First one thing and another. I'm gonna get started on it. Just anywhere I can find a place to put it.
You feel different driving this car?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I feel a lot different.
How come orange?
I just like orange. Showed up a lot better.
What do people say about your car?
Some people like it, some people don't, some...
Well, one thing Bunk Hagee doesn't have to worry about, and that's losing his car in a parking lot.
Bunk Hagee always wanted to be a little different, and now with his Stripe Mobile, and he expects to have that lettered right here real soon, Stripe Mobile, I'd say he got his wish. Orange looks good on you, Bunk. In Huntsville, Bunk Hagee and his Stripe Mobile. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. That is one pretty car.